here we are at the Haunted Flea Market, and I am in the presence of greatness. I've got Greg the Hammer Valentine, who is a former Intercontinental Champion with the World Wrestling Federation, or now WWFE?
WWE now.
WWE, oh, okay.
They had to get rid of the F.
Okay, they got the F out of there, huh?
Yeah. F out of there, yeah.
I've had days like that. Anyhow, Greg, it is a pleasure to meet you, and it was a pleasure playing that little joke on Jimmy earlier. Thank you so much for helping with that. And well, first of all, let me ask you some questions. How did you get your start in wrestling?
Well, actually, I'm a second generation wrestler. My father was a big wrestling name, Johnny Valentine, and that's basically how I got started. I saw him wrestle many times. Of course, when I was a young kid, I didn't think I'd ever want to be a wrestler, but I went on the road with him in Texas for 3 months in the 70s, and told him I wanted to break into business. He really didn't want me to. Said I wasn't big enough, but back then I wasn't really big enough. But he sent me up to Calgary to either discourage me to get out of it, because it was like 40 below zero up there, and you wonder if this kid really wants it. You know, you'll have to prove it to me. But I proved it to him, and went through some craziness up there in Canada, and I can't stand Canada. I hate cold weather, and I don't even like Chicago that much. It's too cold for me. But anyway, growing up in Seattle, people think that's cold weather, but Seattle's actually pretty warm, because it's never hardly snows there. You know,
it just rains all the time. Right.
It's not as cold as Chicago or Canada. But I plugged along, and my father helped me out quite a bit. 1975, though, my dad was in a real bad plane crash, private plane, and he ended his wrestling career, and he was crippled from the waist down. And actually, that's kind of when my career took off, when his ended. And it wasn't really because of that, but it was just the timing of it.
Right.
That was around 1976, and that's when I came to the forefront of my profession and broke through the ice, so to speak. Got into the main events.
When was it you were the Intercontinental Champion?
That was 1985.
85?
Yeah.
So,
before that, I had United States Champion, World Tag Team Champion before that, and then after 85, 86, 87, I was World Tag Team Champion, Canadian Champion. There's so many different belts, I can't even remember all of them. But those were the main ones.
Do you have to have a warehouse for them, or?
Well, unfortunately, they don't let you keep them when
really?
you lose them. Yeah, but I've still got a lot of belts that I actually have my own wrestling company for a while called the XWF, and but the guy that funded it had a heart attack on me, so he kind of bowed out of it. That was in 2002, 3, and 4. We were getting ready to, actually give the WWE some competition, but it didn't work out, so I'm basically semi-retired now from the ring, because I got hurt, tore my quad really bad coming out of the ring, and I didn't get hurt in the ring. I just got hurt coming out of the ring, because the stairs blew out, and then I blew my knee out. So. But I'm getting healthy again,
It's like Superman slipping in the bathtub.
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah. You wrestled 36 years, never got hurt yourself, and then you step on a step and it caves in. It's a freak accident.
No doubt. No doubt. Now, how long have you been wrestling with Honky Tonk?
Well, we actually got put together around 1990, and we were together, it was only about a year, maybe a year and a half, but we did the kind of he does the Elvis impersonation, I don't do that, but we put a little thing in, the rhythm and blues thing together, and we went to the ring with guitars and stuff, and had a lot of fun with it. We hit wrestlers over the head with guitars, and at one of the WrestleManias, we actually WrestleMania 6 in Toronto, in front of about 70,000 fans. We did a concert, and
Really?
yeah, and we sang, and we danced. We did the rock and roll, and we wrestled. So
Wow.
it was pretty wild.
So you
At
play
the
guitar?
Skydome. A little bit.
Enough to get by.
Enough to get by, yeah.
Yeah, nobody's going to be stupid enough
No.
to say you don't.
No, I'm no Slash or Eric Clapton or anything like that, but yeah, we had a lot of fun with it.
And if somebody complains about your playing, you smash them over the head with a guitar.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who cares? We're here to entertain you all, and if you don't like it, leave.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not complaining. No guitars in here, right? So I hear you had a brush with Hollywood. Mickey Rourke? Can you tell me about that?
Well, actually, I was in Long Island doing a wrestling show, a convention, and one of my buddies came up to me and said, Aronofsky, I forget his first name, but his last name's Aronofsky, the director, is doing a movie about wrestling. It's called The Wrestler. I want you and Brutus Beefcake, that's another friend of mine. I was a partner with him. We were called the Dream Team. We were doing the autograph session together, and you guys want to stay over an extra day and go meet this Aaron Aronofsky? And so we went and met the director. He had a place there in Brooklyn, New York. Met with him, and he happened to be a big wrestling fan. That's why he wanted to do this movie. And he used to go to Madison Square Garden when he was a kid, and he watched me wrestle.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Awesome.
And Beefcake. So he was really impressed with both of us, and I think he was a little more impressed with me because he really kind of pulled me off to the side and said, I loved you, your robes, he says, I really want Mickey Rourke to kind of pick up some of the stuff you did. So I met him down in Miami because I live in Tampa, and Mickey Rourke lives in Miami, so I flew down from Tampa, met with Mickey Rourke, and gave him a bunch of my DVDs. Then I met with him in Brooklyn when I was up there again and trained with him a little bit. And then I went out for the premiere. So I know he was impressed with what I did. I told him he knew how to box and everything, and I said that my wrestling was solid and stiff and very believable. Wasn't this phony crap. And I said I kind of mixed the boxing and wrestling together, boom, 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 and then the wrestling, grab a hold, and then kind of the boxing back to the wrestling. And I said, just watch these DVDs and you'll see what I'm talking about. And he, I know he did, and in fact we talked about it at the premiere out there. And then he actually came, after the wrestler came out and did real well, he was actually up for an Academy Award, and then Vince McMahon invited him out to Houston for, I think it was one of the WrestleManias, and Mickey was actually part of that too. So, yeah, that was my brush with Hollywood. Got to be on the red carpet with Mickey and stuff. That was a thrill, and get introduced in front of all these movie stars that came to see the premiere. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
You've pretty much traveled all over the world in your career, haven't you?
I've been all over. I've been all over Europe, all over Africa, Australia, South America. About the only two places I haven't been is, I haven't been to Russia, and I haven't been to China, but I've been to Hong Kong. So, but I've been all over the place. Malaysia, you name it, I've been there. I'm sorry. I've been all over the world, yes, sir.
Very cool. What's you already said Canada's too cold for you. What's your favorite place?
I really don't have a favorite place. I guess where I live, Tampa, Florida, St. Pete. I like that. I moved down there 25 years ago, and I stayed put. But before that, I moved all over. I actually went to high school in Los Angeles, and I between Los Angeles and Seattle. I grew up because my parents split up, so I like the West Coast, but now I'm kind of used to Florida. So I guess Florida, probably in the States, is my favorite place.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, I've learned a little bit about your wrestling career. Is there any one thing that you'd like to talk about that would be a neat little story to close with? Something that, well, if there was any one question I could ask you that I wouldn't even know to ask, what would, let's say, the most amazing or interesting story, what would that story be? How's that for a weird question?
Okay. I'll tell you a story. 1976, I was a young buck. My wife, I had of course, a brand new wife and a brand new baby, and I wrestled in Jacksonville, Florida. And I sent them on an airplane. I was moving to Los Angeles. I was going to wrestle out there. So I sent them, and my mother lived in Los Angeles, so I sent them there ahead of me. And so I started driving in Jacksonville. From Jacksonville, I'm going to drive to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a road story for you. This guy at the wrestling matches gave me this little black pill, and I took the black pill, and I don't know what it was, some kind of Benny or Dexedrine or something, but I drove nonstop to Phoenix, Arizona.
From Jacksonville, Florida?
From Jackson, nonstop.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, Greg. It was a pleasure chatting with you, and I'll look forward to hearing more about you.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And it's a pleasure meeting you, too.
Thank you.